No matter what, though, if and when I make a video game, there's going to be like a hidden plot line where you get to romance something stupid. Like, recently, oh, I'm trying to remember which game it was. I mean, not exactly too far off. I was playing, Vampire the Masquerade. The first one, Bloodlines.
Okay.
A while back. And that was a lot of fun. But at a certain point in the game, you get to go to a motel. And if you, like, more or less find your way into a very specific room, if you find your way into a specific room, there will be, like, some email on the laptop talking about the werewolf. And the guy is very clearly losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And effectively, like, you can kind of follow up on it a little bit more, and you see a dancing werewolf in the sky. Like, I think you actually read the...
Oh, I saw that ending cutscene.
Yeah.
That you found.
So you read the email, and then at the very end of the game, you're given, like, a couple of options, you know, to kind of choose your ending. And so you can, like, open it up to find, like, the ancient vampire within, or blah, blah, blah. Or you can say, like, I don't care about this. Show me the dancing werewolf again. At which point the main villain turns into a dancing werewolf. And you and the werewolf just dance for a while as the credits roll. And it's the stupidest goddamn thing, and it was amazing. And, like, I want to sneak that kind of thing into a game if I ever make one. My problem with making a game is that I don't think I have the time to learn how to program let alone the time to program it myself. Which puts me in this kind of awkward position of, if I wanted to make a video game, I'd have to find somebody else, or, like, use a really simplistic programming
yeah, like all those RPG makers that there are out there.
And, like, I'm sure I could actually figure it out in not too much time. And maybe that actually would be a really good idea. But I know it would be easier if I had, like, one person to work with. But every time I try and work with somebody...
You've debated doing visual novels, though.
Yeah, and those probably wouldn't be too hard. Yeah, if you want to make a visual novel, there's a decent program for it. Yeah, so I've heard.
Because, realistically, all you would need to do for the visual novel is pass, you know, this answer elicits this response and these choices.
I'd have to look at how the visual novel would work. Because that actually wouldn't be a terrible idea.
As long as you could create all your artwork for it.
Yeah.
And obviously write the story and all the dialogue. Then yeah.
Because I feel like making a visual novel would be easier for me.
And it would scratch an
creative itch, yeah.
For the writing portion.
Because I keep trying to sit down and write a book, or... I keep trying to write a book, or I keep trying to do like a webcomic, but I almost feel like, yeah, making some visual novel-y like webcomic, or a visual novel-y thing would probably be easiest. Maybe. And what is the name of the program, though? Actually, if you're on Discord, if you could link it to me and any alternatives, that'd be kind of lovely.
Oh, that requires something special.
Yeah, this requires something real beefy. Oh, right. Wasn't there a chest somewhere around here?
Maybe.
But I couldn't... Yeah, this one.
Huh.
I forgot about this. Gold coins. Huh.
Well... Where are we going to find the party?
It's this way. There's just a lot in the way.
Mm-hmm. I got us some... Well, didn't we get a visual novel or two to play?
Yeah. And honestly, like, if I was actually going to do if I was going to make a, if I was going to make one myself, I would probably go out of my way to start playing more. I try and find a couple that were specifically, like, my thing is...
We found one that looked awfully cute. It had a really nice art style, and it was about this girl who's a bodyguard for various princes in a fantasy world.
My problem is just, like, I want
fun.
visual novels that are, like, higher.
Where there's some gameplay in between?
No, just... I don't like the romance. I don't like romance in games. It usually makes me feel weird.
Well, it is awkward for us, because we're in a relationship, and it is
I find it impossible to care.
I found too often in games that I had played where romance was an option, I ended up being insulted by most of the guys that would try hitting on my character. And I'd say, no, you stop flirting with me right now. And so I never romanced anyone in any of the games I had played that were BioWare, where you could romance someone. But that's because I suppose a lot of the guys were just huge flirts.
But yeah, I prefer...
I did like how there was that one game that we saw at PAX where there was an option for if you just wanted to get the story and the politics and such in, then you could turn off the romance options and just interact with the characters without the goal of romance at the end. I thought that was nice. Might want to look into that. We got some pretty buttons for it, and I think I am familiar with one of the artists that worked on it. That looked like either a mess hall or a
classroom?
Yeah, it had a lot of tables.
I keep flashing back to other games we played recently, like Indivisible, where I, like, try and press the button, I try and press a button specifically to, like, you know, parry or like, guard.
You know what's interesting? I was just thinking about why fantasy is aesthetically very similar to the Middle Ages and such. And, you know, the knights, the castles, and whatnot. Maybe that's because it's where most of those legends originated from, and the aesthetic has been maintained.
I mean, there's a decent amount of modern fantasy nowadays, though.
True, but it just doesn't feel the same. And
I think the problem is a lot of modern fantasy is set in just kind of our world. It's very rare to have a modern fantasy that is a parallel modern fantasy.
Well, the other thing, too, is I feel like if it was like our world, it would be too similar. So people tend to go for a sci fantasy or a science fiction, but they don't really have the same technology that we do. They might have various vehicles and computers and such, but they typically look or act in a disparate way from ours.
I still think you need to look at Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
It's such a beautiful...
It just looks so grungy. But that's because it was a
grungy,
dystopic.
but it is
dystopic
one
world.
of the best, like, parallel universes I've ever seen in a video game. Like, hands down, everything is thought through. Sure, they have a couple of things like telephones, but, like, their computer systems are completely different. Like, they're based on radio waves.
Mm-hmm.
The cars are completely different. Their modes of transportation are wildly different due to spoilers, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually need to
How
fight them.
are their bones sticking out of the wall? Look at that. Maybe this castle was built to defend against monsters, but they eventually lost, and the dragon took over. Ooh, the ancient language.
Huh. This looks like some kind of design, but I think it's the same writing system from my books.
What does it say?
I'm not sure. It's hard to make out. Wait, here we go. I think I can read this.
That's awesome, Tao. So?
This says Wings of Fire. That's the dragon, maybe. Next is Summon. And then a word I can't read. Oh, so you're not totally illiterate, huh? I just started studying, okay? Anyway, these three plus one other keep repeating over and over again.
Summon. Probably has to do with calling monsters, right? Can you read the last one you mentioned?
It says kill.
What?
Wait, hold on.
Is it a complete sentence? Can you tell?
Hold on, let me think. First is the subject, and the last part indicates an imperative, so... Come on, hurry up. Don't rush me. So rough translation would be, summon dragon, kill something.
Summon dragon? Do you think that means they summoned a dragon and it attacked this place?
I don't know anything about that. I've only ever heard of summoning monsters in fairy tales. Damn, if only Empo and Lila were here.
But the dragon was summoned to fight something. Something strong enough to do all this damage. So you don't know what that word means, but what is the word? How do you pronounce it?
It would be Filusha.
Felucia.
Nap time.
What's this statue? An angel of some sort?
Yep.
Oh, this is a chapel, and we can still go higher.
Let's see. I'll look around a little. Oh, those have animal hide. I need more of those. Does that count as plot? Did we find a plot point? We found a hint at a maybe plot point.
Ooh. Ah! Agatha, are you okay? What are you doing here?
Never mind that. Where are the others?
They're over there. I was able to wound it, but it blew all of us away. So, Boss and the others are in there?
Yeah. What do we do?
We fight. What else?
Fight? You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, we have to fight. Right here, right now.
Agatha, please find somewhere safe, away from the fire. What are you talking about? You're gonna take that thing on by yourselves? We don't have time to discuss it. Listen, if we win, how about you don't yell at us? As a reward. The old castle dragon. Oof, took off quite a bit of Ryza's health there. I really do like the music for this game too.
Yeah, this has a fantastic soundtrack.
Wow, she's sending all these spears and javelins at it.
Oh, good work. God, my timing was bad, but that's okay. We're just kind of wrecking this thing.
Great.
I mean, turns out those these Norden brands that I can chuck do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. Woo! It says it's spiraling into the air. But if you succeed in killing it, what was it summoned to protect?
Maybe the plot will happen if we kill it.
We kill it, and whatever it was supposed to keep at bay is released.
I just almost feel like at this point nothing is plot. Everything is side quests. Like we beat the game, the credits roll, and we're like, huh, what happened to the plot?
Is it over?
It's down. It's down. We did it. We really won.
We did, didn't we?
I don't believe it. Boss. Don't touch me. Huh? Damn it. Damn it. Why? Why did it have to be you that came to my rescue? It's the worst thing I could imagine.
Boss? I need to check on the wounded. Agatha, are you okay?
Oh, I put Dragonslayer on the daggers. That's why.
I'm fine. Those others got it way worse. Some of them are suffering from severe burns. And where's Lombard? Did he get eaten?
Oh, he did. No one was sad.
We're lucky nobody actually died. Well, that answers your question. And we finished our mission, thanks to you.
She meant nobody important.
Well then, no reason to stick around, right? Let's head home. We can't treat any injuries here. Yeah, I'm sure Mr. Brunin is worried sick about Boss. Let's go, before any monsters show up.
But first...
The dragon nest. Animal hides, beast fossil. Wait, that looks like giant stags. As opposed to dragons. Unless the dragons
this is probably what the dragon was eating.
Mm-hmm.
Up here. Now, is there anything else? Because we actually haven't been in this area.
Mm-hmm.
We just got insta-warped up to the fight.
Ooh, is that something interesting?
Yep, probably.
There's crystals.
Keep hitting that for resources.
Purple crystal? Or you ended up hitting some wyverns.
Works.
Mockhawk and evil orchis.
Macaque?
Macaque?
That sounds wrong.
Oh, really? Like, I was thinking macaw, but... Alright. Great. Well... So, once again, Boss is outdone by our party.
Yep. At what point do you think he just joins the party? He's like, fine! The only way I'm gonna do anything impressive is if I just follow you people.
Mm-hmm.
I give up.
I mean, you have a great warrior, alchemist, scholar, musician. They're going to be the next greats of this world.
You know, interesting thing is, by the way, these games tend to come in trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very real possibility.
This will end before anything actually goes onto, like, any plot occurs. Like, it'll leave us off at a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Where we
might have to have the quest for more plot.
The quest for more plot into the other game releases.
Yep.
Oh no.
I hope you are prepared. Let's see, if you could use the magic system from any game in real life, what system would it be? You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. This game, a high contender. Not necessarily
but
the
alchemy
manage.
isn't really magic.
No, but the amount of wild stuff you can do. Because
I mean, I suppose it's magic, but you don't use it as attacks.
no, but like, imagine more domestic uses for like what Ryza is doing. Because she can effectively just mush random crap together and get better random crap. Meaning, like, if we walked to the dump, I could just start chucking all of those things in a cauldron. Like, I would make the biggest, best, baddest recycling company ever and use that to make freaking Megazords.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you could probably turn trash into something useful.
Like, you would... I could straight up make, like, food that is so good it makes us 10 years younger or something like that. With just, like, enough practice and alchemy nonsense. I could make a car that, like...
runs on something other than
errant
fuel.
farts.
Errant farts? Wander, how are you going to make something that farts enough? Oh, wait. No, I know precisely
You
what
just
we
need to
can
feed
use.
me and we're all good.
I would hope that you don't fart that persistently.
Your fault.
No, you
I've been farting this entire recording session.
Wander, that's probably because of your chili.
Your fault, you made me make it. You're too busy.
Because it's one of the few things we had left to cook.
Yeah. I just have a bad digestive system.
Yeah, just the flatulence. It's constant.
I try and keep it under control, but like, I don't know.
And the funny thing was, I thought it was just a thing that fathers did. But no, you don't have to be a father to fart all the time.
All men, when they hit like 25 or older, they fart time.
I mean, it could be food of some variety, but I just don't know what it would be in your case. Watch it be dairy. Watch you have some kind of mild lactose
I
intolerance.
actually have not been drinking a whole lot of milk, like, at all.
But you've been having so much cheese that it would offset any progress you've made without having milk.
Oh, synthesized accessories.
Weren't we going to experiment with that and try to avoid dairy products for a time just to see if your farts would improve?
Probably.
Why are we talking about this on stream, though? Oh, right. Because you wanted to make a car that was fueled by...
errant farts.
errant farts.
Yeah, why not?
But as for, like, magic systems, that's a tough one.
My problem with a lot of magic systems is I'm more interested in the utility, and very few games have good utility.
Well, the other thing, too, is what does it cost? Because in so many games, it costs you mana points, or stamina, or life force. You know what I'm getting at? So, it depends on what personal cost there is to casting the magic, and then, yeah, what kind of utility it is. It's interesting because when I was always asked, if you had one superpower, what would it be? I would typically say telekinesis, because with strong enough telekinesis, you can do so much. You could fly, you could crush things, you could move things at will, and just, there's a lot of utility with it, but it doesn't have, say, the mysticism and effects that you could have with, say, someone who was an illusionist, or if you think about it, people that just command elements, it's actually quite basic unless you're, say, water or earth. I suppose air. Eh.
I mean, if I was capable of being like a wizard from D&D, though.
Oh, but they have peculiar spells. Spells that do very specific things. Like, I mean, aside from...
Well, they have, like, Lehman's Tiny Hut. Which
Right.
like,
that's the one I was just thinking
and
of.
see,
I was trying to
that's
think
the
of the
stuff
little
that
hut.
I'm interested in. Like, I want to play a D&D game
Oh, look, a spiky.
that is specifically not... Wow, quality is going up with a lot of this stuff.
World of Warcraft has a lot of fun magic. Guild Wars has a lot of fun magic. I always liked the idea of mesmers.
I like the aesthetics. My problem is the, like...
I would never want to be a necromancer.
Well,
Ugh.
my problem with a lot of
Ugh.
magic systems, though, is because they're so combat-focused, like, what would I be? Just, like, a battle mage? Like, there's a lot of not battling that I'd rather do.
Well, in the case of mesmers, like we were discussing before, they're illusionists, so they can be performers, but then they can also... in a way, they also had things that could change someone's mood or give boons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but even then, I don't know, from my perspective, I'd rather be able to, like, conjure food out of thin air. Like, I'd rather be able to snap a finger and cubic banana.
So you want to be able, just like what you were saying with the alchemy, you just want to be able to create things.
Not necessarily create things, but, like, flying, teleportation, levitation, healing. Like, there's so many things that you can do with magic that it almost seems like a travesty to have all magic be combat related. And so, like, I know if I was in a D&D universe, I would probably just be some, like, nerd in a city making magic items and then, like, selling them for money and whatnot. I wouldn't be out adventuring as much. I'd be trying to, like, make automated carts.
People who were adept with, say, druidic magic would probably be good growers and
Oh man, if
tenders,
I were a druid,
animal husbandry and stuff.
I would be an architect. I'd just be like, I can grow your house.
But it also depends on... there are also druids in games that they can transform into animals and such. That would just be fun more so than useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so. Nothing wrong
Imagine
with
if
fun.
everyone could turn into birds. At will.
I mean,
We wouldn't need cars.
true.
Unless we wanted to carry things, but then we'd need bags of holding. Could you imagine if bags of holding existed?
To be fair, bags of holding are not weightless, normally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we
always adjusted it in our game.
Yeah, I
so
always
they
just
didn't
didn't
have-
give a shit because encumbrance is a pain. Someday I would do a D&D campaign that cares more about...
Oh gosh, someone's suggesting that you turn into a chicken and lay eggs. Do you know what that is? It's like you're giving birth every single day.
I would feel dirty. I'd like do it twice and they'd be like, never mind. Let's not. And
Well, you'd also have to turn into a
Female.
female chicken. I mean, chickens, roosters.
I mean, grand scheme of things, if I had the ability
Roosters
to
are male.
shapeshift, if everybody had the ability to shapeshift freely, gender norms would go out the window and never come back.
Yep, that's true.
Like, you probably have some more, like, traditional people, but you probably have a lot of people that are just like, sweet, I feel like being a lady because it's Tuesday. I feel like being a non-gendered person because, boy, those organs are just kind of annoying. Until it's time to get your strut on.
Ponder.
What? I've read enough weird speculative sci-fi for this to know
I know.
what would happen.
If you think about it, though, there has to also be differences between one's physical gender and then how they act and dress themselves and such. And it's sad because so many things are attributed to this is a lady thing and this is a man thing. When I remember, I mean, I used to wear almost exclusively men's t-shirts for a while and such.
Yeah.
And so many of my interests would be keyed towards quote-unquote, you know, males. Oh, you like video games? You like science fiction? You like tabletop RPGs?
Like a shapeshifter. I would become a video game. Oh. This sucker remains tough.
Yeah, I think we had discussions before about how YouTube gauges what gender you are, and it's based off of your interests, so I'm pretty sure that's why whenever I get ads, it tends to be about beer and football and stuff. And I go, I've never shown any interest in beer and football. Why are they throwing these ads at me? And it's probably because I watch nerd and video game content.
Yep. Sucker is tough. Even if I've beaten it before, it's still tough.
A shapeshifter society would be confusing, though, because then if everyone's appearance is malleable, then will you remember what you even were or are started as, or...
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like photographs would probably be a lot more important.
But would it be important? Because if you don't revert back to an original form,
I feel like
then...
at that point your style would be more your identity than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like clothing. It's like you and I definitely have like styles of dress. Like I'm for the most part shorts and some kind of gaming t-shirt. And so like I'm sure if everybody's form was malleable, it would probably still kind of end up being about the same thing where you know they'd still kind of gravitate to a general style, look or feel or whatnot.
I'm really glad, though, that in the last decade or so, things have been so much more accessible to women and girls that were almost exclusively the quote-unquote nerdy things that guys would enjoy back in the, you know, 70s or 80s.
It's been interesting watching that, because it's also kind of conversely, like, a lot of traditionally male things have become, or female things have become slightly more acceptable for men, too.
Yeah, I've seen a number of guys wearing nail polish, actually.
Yeah. And, like, I don't think I'd be terribly keen on it.
I don't like nail polish, and
yeah, I think my
I'm a
main
lady.
thing is I just don't like chemical smells.
Well, it's the chemical smells. It's, for me, I feel this weight on my fingers, and I'm not fond of it. And then also, they chip. And it's just, I do not like...
Oh, you know what I'd like at some point? And admittedly, this is kind of still temporary, whatever. I would love to get, like, a henna tattoo.
Henna stuff?
Yeah. Because I knew people that had henna tattoos, like, that would go out and get them when I was in high school, and I was kind of jealous.
I used to do henna with my friends on occasion. But yeah, it was the kind of thing that would rub off eventually.
Yeah, but it would still take a while.
People are actually starting to use henna for hair dye. But you can probably only get reds and golds and browns with it.
You'd rather get a normal tattoo. See, I'm not... I'm too flexible, I think.
I'm not fond of the idea of having something permanently on me.
My problem is just, like, I don't think I'd ever be able to choose just one thing. And so...
And the other thing, too, is it has to be applied with a needle, injecting ink under your skin. Ugh. I mean, if you want something invisible, I suppose there are those tattoos that are only visible under black lights and such. What?
Oh, I'm looking at how this works.
Ah, okay.
So, specifically, building material, I have the recipe to get up to here. The problem is, I don't think I have enough of the right resources. Like, they're not high enough quality. Because I always get stuck here. I need some kind of tree fruit that has enough, has a 2 fire on it. Or I need a wood. Maybe I can do this. No, so I've got to get 1 ingot that is a quality 3 or higher. Okay, so that's actually a little bit more doable than I thought. Let's see, sort by quality. Okay. Presumably just quality. Sort by quality. Has to be fire. Oh, if this works.
What are you attempting to make?
So, do you see how underneath level it has the little 2? I don't know if I can raise that. And I was really hoping I could. Because if I can raise that so that it's higher than a 2, I can finally get this item that I'm going for. But it doesn't look like I can do that just by enhancing this. I'm not actually sure if you can. Yeah, it sucks. Because it has to be a specific type of... Well, I guess I'll make bronze isons. Oh, could try making it manually. That's true. But yeah, I've never actually seen those values go up in the way that I want. All items have a set amount. But I've noticed that, that like, the base items, for example... Yeah, so it doesn't look like I have it there. Yeah, that one has 3. But that was a bronze ison, which, yeah, ingots start at 1, and then they go up to 2. Win. What is it? Oh. Oh. Because, yeah, it was when I added this ore here, it went up to being a 2-value ore. Which is why I was confused. Because there's got to be some way to get up there, but I don't know. I only vaguely understand this system.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an issue for me. Let's... Oh. It's annoying. Whatever.
What's up?
Nothing important.
Okay. Well, are we gonna go back to town and see what's happened with the hunting party?
Just about. We found a lot of stuff while we were out and about, so I'm starting to process it down just a little bit. Because now that I've got that big new knapsack, I'm swimming in items.
Okay.
Please show there. But no, I don't know. I think I just if I were going to be a wizard or something, I would want to just be I would want to be a utility wizard. I wouldn't be interested in throwing fireballs or anything like that. That's for other people. Oh, hey. Could actually make her a new weapon. Let's see. What are these? Heroic spirits. We should probably do Comet Stone. Okay, I've definitely got enough for this.
It's an odd type of magic, but I haven't seen the what you draw becomes real.
Yeah, that kind of dropped off.
That's an interesting ability. Because as artists, that's something that would be interesting for us. But then anything would be possible.
Okay, that didn't work. I think my problem is that that would feel maybe too...
It wouldn't be grounded in anything.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I'd draw something wrong.
And it would create a horror monster that would decimate the neighborhood. And yeah, that would be a little too chaotic.
Like, I'd 100% be afraid.
Because what if someone just decided to draw a black hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, there would definitely have to be limitations.
I don't think I'd enjoy having that nebulous of a thing. Because I feel with, like, alchemy, there kind of be rules and understanding. I mean, right here we're following a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I always thought summoners were interesting too. But it depends on what they're summoning. Because in this world, what would you summon? People? Various animals? Whereas in a fantasy world, it always seemed like there were demons or godlike entities or mythical beasts or things that could come to your aid. Or smite your enemies.
Yeah, I feel like summoning would be fun more for, like, a game with, like, monster collection and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, think of it this way. Like, no matter what with summoning, you either summon a wide variety of things that you're not emotionally connected to, or you summon a whole bunch of things that you are, and you have to kind of limit it down because you don't want to, like, you know, it's like Metabots, for example, like, or Pokemon.
Well, in
You know,
Metabots, you had to get physical parts and assemble them into the one
yeah,
bot.
but, like, you would only have one Metabot, but you can switch the parts around, so it wasn't so bad. But, like, take Pokemon, for example.
I always felt so bad for the hundreds of Pokemon that would inevitably go into someone's bank.
Yeah. And we just, like, chuck them, and it's just like, well... Yeah, honestly, I still feel a little guilty. Like, we played Let's Go Eevee a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel a bit guilty because, like...
Because Eevee was one of the main protagonists, and your
we kind of
first
had an
partner
emotional
Pokemon,
connection
and
to the little fuzzball.
it would give you gifts, and you would pet them, and they were just so cute.
It was cute, and it was kind of neat that we could...
I liked how Eevee, what was it? He actually succeeded in sneaking through parts of Silph Co's to grab items for us and such that we needed,
Yeah.
that we wouldn't have been able to reach. I don't know, I really liked that.
It was
But at the very beginning of the game, we were crying because we were essentially saying goodbye to
You mean at
our
the
partner.
end of the game we were saying goodbye to it? Yeah.
Yeah, at the game. What did I say?
At the beginning.
Oh, sorry, not at the beginning. Yeah, at the end. Yeah, at the end of the game.
And, like, yeah, I feel kind of bad that we just chucked that thing in a bin. And, you know, I still have that save file. We could technically go back whenever we want, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I would be okay with, like, summoning one creature, and then I'd stop. Unless the creature, like, doesn't want to be my bro, but...
Well, that's why I haven't seen enough series where it almost reminds me of, what would it be? The Golden Compass series. You know how everyone had a daemon?
Yeah.
But you couldn't necessarily choose the form of them
Hmm.
or anything. But they had their own soul and personality, and they'd speak English, and they were your constant companion. Wasn't the rule, too, that they were always the opposite gender to you as well?
I think?
I think that was the case.
It's easy to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Compass itself was kind of neat, and then it got...
Then it got really dark and weird. I didn't actually read the second or the third books. But no, it'd be really interesting if there was a world in one of these fictional settings where, yeah, everyone could summon a particular type of creature, but they could grow and evolve as you train them up or have particular purposes for them. Or how you change as a person also affects how they change.
Very long, and I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the last couple of things I'm gonna be able to do. See, that trilogy got weird, but I've read weirder. So have I, but like everybody loved Golden Compass and was talking
There's
about how
gonna be a
great
new
it was.
television show for it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping maybe they do it better justice because like I knew people that were like going bananas for that story, and I'm like, it's why?
I think people just love the idea of animal partners.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those series where I remember there were online quizzes for kids. You know, what animal is your daemon? I got a tiger for the quiz. You probably never took one, did you?
Nope.
Yeah, I remember mine was a tiger. It's interesting because our college mascot was a tiger. was a portend.
Okay. Still make a chain vest. The recipe. Okay. Oh. Please. But yeah, I know people would do the same thing with, they would go bananas over Pottermore.
Right, because you'd get your Patronus,
And
which
your
is
house.
which is your spirit animal, and yes, the house that you're a part of. The components that would go into your wand.
And, like, I can appreciate that sort of thing, but for me, it's like...
It's kind of like how with Star Wars, there's, you know, what would your lightsaber color be? And, you know, what role would you have in the universe? Would you be a bounty hunter or a Jedi or a Sith or something? People just like roleplay. And I think when it comes to various universes with interesting magic systems or something unique like a spirit partner.
It's nice to imagine what you would be.
Yeah.
I guess I just get kind of detached to that point because I'm feeding into somebody else's universe.
Right, precisely. But I think that's the appeal of it. Because that's what every Pokemon game is. What's your ultimate team gonna be? How are you going to defeat the gym leaders and venture through the game?
I guess I can.
And it's why people play MMOs.
True.
In part. It's a multiplayer role-playing game. Is it massive multiplayer?
Yeah, massively multiplayer online RPG.
Online RPG.
It's interesting. For me, MMOs used to be these big impressive things, seeing all these players running around. I think the older I've gotten, the less I actually want to see any of these people.
Any what people? Wait, what are you talking about?
You know, in MMOs,
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so impressed by the amount of people running around. Like, when I first played Guild Wars 1, it was so cool seeing, like, just lobbies full of people.
But now you hiss at them and go, "Ew, why are you here?
Yeah.
You're ruining my in-game world. It's supposed to be a desolate wasteland, and it's teeming with people."
It's not even like that. It's just that, like...
breaking my immersion.
I'm
Is that
not
what you're
having a
talking about?
meaningful interaction with these people, so it's hard for me to care.
A lot of people do play MMOs like single-player games. I admittedly do that too, but then again, it's because I've been burned a couple times by random dungeons. Like that one time, you were the tank and I was just trying to DPS as my shaman,
Yeah, and you
which
just
was
got
bad
booted.
because they're just like, "You're not doing enough damage." Never mind the fact that we were still clearing all the rooms and getting through the dungeon just fine. But then you were the tank and you went, "Well, you just kicked my girlfriend. Goodbye."
Yep, and I just bailed. I'm assuming they were able to just replace me. Whoa, holy crap, look at that attack bonus.
Ooh, that's an A level. Grim Quartz.
Might have used up, I might have used most of the good resources on Ryza's weapon.
The interesting thing is, I had a number of friends that... I was never allowed to play MMOs back in grade school. But I had some friends that played in middle school or high school. And I don't know if they necessarily formed meaningful friendships with people that they met. But there were a couple where they would party with someone a couple of times. It wasn't just, you know, a random occurrence.
Yeah,
And
I mean...
there would be the inklings of the beginning of a friendship. And I know that you did the rating.
I had very good friends. That I honestly miss. But I haven't had the time or the... I haven't had the time the energy to like try and put that together again.
I did like it when we had all of the fans following us around in Guild Wars too. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Though I will say, like, we've
Because
recently...
I always dreamed of having a guild group someday.
I mean, I have that for both like Destiny and Guild. Oh, not for both Destiny and Warframe.
Yeah, you've been doing that for Destiny and Warframe, but Destiny and Warframe, you can really only group with so many people at a time, right? And you can't all hang out in the same spot. Or no, you have your dojo thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to Guild Wars and starting over a new playthrough, because at this point, since when we initially played Guild Wars, we had gone through, we were actually there for the betas and such. We bought into it early, but we spent the better part of a year or so playing through the first game and leveling a number of characters, and I think we each tried to have a character of each race so that we could experience the different starting areas and some of those personal storylines, the different orders, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. We were there for this whole Scarlet, what was it? It was the first Living World events and such that you can't even access anymore. But then they started introducing the Living World, which I like. That was a chapter system. Heart of Thorns. We actually didn't... We played a bit through Heart of Thorns, but we didn't actually play the story. We were just grinding for the ability to navigate the world because there was a lot of verticality to it. And then Path of Fire we purchased, but we didn't actually play too much of it. In part because I was attempting to play it with my Char Elementalist, and she is a little bit clumsy.
It was also just hard.
Yeah, it was interesting. The difficulty curve skyrocketed so that you pretty much had to party with people in order to be even a mook mob in the environment.
I sort by price. No, I can't. Whatever, I'll get the rest of this later. Okay, so...
Yep. Scarlet. We fought her mega machines quite a number of times. Because we had to grind for those spinal blades.
I hated that.
And a whole bunch of other things.
Also side quests.
Mm-hmm. Oh, side quests. Hey, Peter.
Oh, hi, Ryza. You got a big scoop for me.
No, not really. Never mind the fact that we just slayed a giant dragon over in those ruins. I was just curious about what you were up to.
Just searching in vain for my next story. Remember that item you made for me with alchemy? I wrote an article about it, but now everyone here wants me to write something new.
Yeah, I can understand why they'd want to hear about something different once in a while.
I need to live up to everyone's expectations. It's not like there's a whole lot going on around here. Nothing on the island ever changes, and it's hard work scouring the land for new stories.
Well, I'll definitely let you know if I find anything.
I don't mind. Oh, that'd be great. My daughter laughs at me whenever I talk to people, and my wife says I should write about everyday stuff.
Oh, couldn't you just get a regular job? What? Ryza, how dare you even suggest the regular job like everyone else? You're the one that went into alchemy, for Crike's sake.
I hate that.
Oh, no.
Come on, Ryza, I don't want to hear that, especially from you. Writing's in my blood. Anyway, the bottom line is I'm always open to any story ideas you might come up with.
We've heard that line one too many times. I'm upset with Ryza now. I've never really thought about before, but how does he actually make money writing those articles? Maybe it's better not to think about it. Oh well. But how am I even supposed to come up with story ideas? Maybe, if I just help out people in town, a story will just come up naturally. That or you become a fantasy writer. Fantasy. Make your stories. Yeah, could you imagine the news in a town like this? He should start advice columns, or something about recipes, or I don't know. The thing is, with our news being as it is, there's always something going on. That's
too much.
Because there's so many people and it's just world news. Oh, is that... Gina, Wendy, how's it going? Everything okay?
Hi, Ryza. Hey, do you know if anything is happening?
What do they mean by anything?
If anything is happening?
Wait, why the repetition? Are you two maybe helping out with your dad's newsletter? Wait, are these the children?
Might be.
Huh.
Uh-huh. He came up with the idea for a kids column, and he asked us to help. He does something like this every time he runs out of ideas of his own. But we're getting a little allowance for it, so I don't mind.
You're so helpful.
But we haven't found anything to write about, so we were thinking of just going fishing. I want to help too. I thought that if we go fishing, we might write a story about kids growing up so fast or something.
Wow, she can read him like a book.
So, Ryza, could I ask you for a favor?
What is it?
Do you have any bait? None of the shops sell any.
Fishing bait? Sure, I'll see what I can do.
Alright, thanks. Me and Wendy will be waiting.
Do you have any bait?
Delicious bait? Not enough. We can get more.
Was the plot found yet, people are asking. Well, we fought a dragon.
But it seemed kind of...
But all that we know is that it was potentially summoned for some purpose to potentially kill something, so I don't know what killing it accomplished. Or
I don't really know if that counts as a plot. That almost feels like the kind of thing that you do in the first hour of the game to set off the chain of events that results in the actual plot. But this is, like, we're at the halfway point chapter-wise for this game.
Oh,
so.
wow.
Yo, Ryza, need help with something.
Sorry, no. I just happened to be passing by.
Okay. Well, let me know if you do.
I will. And please let me know if there's anything I can help you with.
Huh? Trying to become a handyman, too. We could have become colleagues or something.
No, but I've been gathering materials and making things to help out with things that, like that a lot lately. So if you ever need any goods or anything, I might be able to make them for you.
Oh, I see. In case maybe there is something you can help me with.
Of course. What is it?
I got a gig the other day to repair a house, but I'm a little short on the lumber I need. If any extra lying around, I'd be happy to take it off your hands.
Oh, gotcha. Let me see what I can do.
Lumber.
Lumber.